Today's Monday, and I'm going to be talking about a book that changed my life. It's what always happens to the saints and prophets who are dangerous. We bronze them, we drain them of their passion and life, and trap them in stained glass windows and icons, confining them safely to the memories of the past. St. Francis becomes a birdbath, Malcolm X is put on a stamp, and Martin Luther King gets a holiday. And Jesus gets commercialized, whether it's the plastic night lights or the golden crucifixes. And now there's a bobbing head Jesus for your car, and Jesus is my homeboy t-shirt. It becomes hard to know who Jesus really is, much less to imagine that Jesus ever laughed, cried, or had poop that smelled. I can remember when Christianity was still safe, comfortable, trendy. I grew up in the Bible Belt in East Tennessee, where there's a church building on nearly every corner. I can't remember meeting anyone Jewish or Muslim, and I distinctly remember being dissuaded from dating a Catholic girl because she prayed to Mary. I attended 2 or 3 different youth groups, whichever had the best entertainment and drew the largest crowd. Church was a place where there were cute girls, free junk food, and cheap snowboarding trips. I discovered a Christianity that entertained me with quirky songs and Velcro walls. This book here changed the way I view Christianity, the way I view church, the way I view myself. It's called Irresistible Revolution, Living as an Ordinary Radical by Shane Claibourne. If you're a Christian, it'll change your life. If you used to be a Christian and you got disillusioned with Christianity and the church, this will change your life all over again. If you're not a Christian, I still give it a read because it'll change your view on Christians in general. Shane Claibourne, I read a little bit of the intro. He grew up in the Bible Belt. He grew up a Christian, you know. He went to all the youth groups. He went to listen to all the Christian music, but he became disillusioned with it. You know, he started thinking that there's more to it. Some of the highlights of the book is whenever he moved in with some homeless people into an abandoned church and stayed with them a while and helped them keep the church where they were staying. He also decided to take a next step, so he called up Mother Teresa and went to Calcutta and stayed with her for an entire summer. And right after that, he ended up going to Willow Creek Church here in Illinois, one of the richest churches in the country. And not only did he go there, but he went to Wheaton College, which is the Harvard of Christian schools. And this really added to his disillusionment and who he's supposed to be. I want to read a couple highlights from it, and I don't want to give any more away because honestly, I want you guys to read this. I'm not the most patient person, so after a few weeks I got a little fidgety. With summer approaching, I decided not just to call nuns to see if any of them knew how to get a hold of Mama T. Some told me to write her again, others wondered if it was a prank call. But I finally ended up talking to a precious nun in the Bronx. She told me, quite amused, I think she felt sorry for me, that she would let me talk to Mother Superior there in the Bronx. Feeling pretty good about talking to anyone with Superior in their name, I got ready. Mother Superior picked up the line and we talked. She told me I needed to write a letter to Mother Teresa. I told her I had. She told me I needed to wait. I told her I had. Then she said she would give me a number for Calcutta, and I was not to give it out, darn telemarketers. So I got the digits for Mother Teresa. I did some homework and found out that I needed to call at 2 a.m., and that call would cost $4 a minute. So I resolved to talk fast, not easy for a Tennessee boy. With my friend Brooke standing beside me, both of us praying someone would answer, we called at 2 a.m. from a payphone at our college lounge. It began ringing. I was expecting to hear a formal greeting, Missionaries of Charity, how can we help you? Nope, I just heard an old raspy voice on the other end mutter, hello? Thinking I had the wrong number in Calcutta, with the tab rolling at $4 a minute, I started railing. Hi, I'm calling from the USA trying to reach Mother Teresa or the Missionaries of Charity. I'm waiting to visit. On the other end, I hear a muffled voice say, this is the Missionaries of Charity. This is Mother Teresa. My initial reaction was, yeah, right, and I'm the Pope. But I held back. I told her we had written and wanted to come work with her. She asked how long we wanted to stay. I told her we would like to spend the summer, about 2 or 3 months. That's a long time, she said. I shot back. Or 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 or 3 days. Heck, 2 or 3 hours seemed nice. She said, "No, come for the summer. Come." Come? Where were we to eat or sleep? So I asked her, "Mother Teresa, where would we eat or sleep?" She didn't worry a lot about that. She said, "God takes care of the lilies and the sparrows, and God will take care of you. Just come." Who am I to argue with that? I thanked her, and we hung up. We spent the summer there with Mother Teresa, learning from her, doing what she did. He spent a lot of time with the poorest of the poor, those who are starving, those who are sick. He ended up changing bandages on those who had leprosy. Remembering the invitation that Mother Teresa always gave to curious seekers, we have from the beginning invited people to come and see. And people have, hundreds. As an evangelical, the only way I know to invite people in the Christian faith is to come and see. After all, I'm not just trying to get someone to sign a doctrinal statement, but to come to know love, grace, peace, and the incarnation of Jesus, and now the incarnation of the body, Christ's church. So if someone asked me to introduce them to Jesus, I would say, "Come and see. Let me show you Jesus with skin on." Sometimes we have evangelicals, usually from the suburbs, who pretentiously ask how we evangelize people. I usually tell them that we bring folks like them to learn the kingdom of God from the poor, and then send them out to tell the rich and powerful there is another way of life being born in the margins. For Jesus did not seek out the rich and powerful in order to trickle down his kingdom. Rather, he joined those at the bottom, the outcasts, the undesirables, and anyone who was attracted to his love for people on the margins. We know that we are all poor and lonely anyway, don't we? Then we invited everyone into a journey of downward mobility to become the least. As the old Franciscan slogan goes, "Preach the gospel always, and when necessary, use words." Or as our old 70-year-old revolutionary Catholic nun, Sister Margaret, puts it, "We are trying to shout the gospel with our lives." Many spiritual seekers have not been able to hear the words of Christians because the lives of Christians have been making so much horrible noise. It can be hard to hear the gentle whisper of the Spirit amid the noise of Christendom. It's a great book. I encourage everyone to read it, honestly. And anyone can get something out of this book. Irresistible Revolution, Living as an Ordinary Radical by Shane Claibourne. I don't know, I have the book memorized. I don't know, for some reason, every time I go and try to say it, I look at it.